ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome aboard the CAC CA-13 Boomerang. Now, for understandable reasons, the Boomerang is one of my favourite aircraft in War Thunder, even though it hasn't been in a particularly good place for some time. The Boomerang is best compared against the aircraft that was kind of the inspiration for at least part of its design, the Spitfire 2B. Where the Spitfire has an incredible turn rate, an incredible climb rate, and is extremely fast, the Boomerang is not. In these three areas, it is less manoeuvrable than the Spitfire, it has a lower climb rate, and it is slower, being slightly heavier. On the other side, the Boomerang is slightly more durable and does have more ammunition. It has the same 120 rounds as the Spitfire 2B in its primary cannons, the twin 20mm Hispanos. However, it also flies into battle with 4,000 rounds of machine gun ammo on board. This massive volume of ammunition plus the durability of the Boomerang means it can stay in a fight for an extended period of time and not have to immediately worry about returning to base. So anyways, today's video, I decided I'm going to show something slightly different. This is the worst possible situation that a Boomerang pilot can find themselves in. While the Boomerang and the Spitfire 2B may be very comparable and in fact probably should be at the same battle rating, unfortunately they're not. The Boomerang is at battle rating 3.3, which means it can have up to a maximum 4.3 up tier, which is exactly the match we're in today. The core of the enemy team is still primarily F4s and F4 Tropicals. However, there is a number of BF-109 G2s and a number of Focke-Wulf 190 A4s that are also flying around this match at the moment. So, in today's match we're not going to be focusing too much on the killing side of things, because honestly I do not actually kill a lot of targets here, but I do get attacked by a lot of targets. And this is something that I normally mention but very rarely make a dedicated video to. Today I'm going to run you through a quick demo of some evasive tactics inside of an aircraft like the Boomerang that has an advantage in terms of turn rate against its enemies, but is not anywhere near as fast or anywhere near as good in a climb. So we've just engaged our first target. It's a Focke-Wulf 190 A4. He's dove through the clouds. We're moving to engage him, and this was a little strange. I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened here. I fired the burst, I didn't actually hit him, and then he explodes. Now it didn't look like he was moving fast enough to rip, but that's the only thing I can think that actually happened there. Otherwise, he saw me on his tail and he just ejected from his aircraft. Although why you would do that, I have absolutely no idea. At that point, I probably wasn't going to catch him. Now at this point we've re-gone for altitude, but we're taking shots from underneath, so we have another Focke-Wulf 190. It's another A4 coming up. So I start by putting the aircraft into a high angle spiral climb, and as soon as my airspeed drops a little, I tip the nose over and immediately go into a dive underneath using combat flaps to tighten the turn. Go into a half roll to bring myself back around for the target, complete the roll in order to intercept the target, and then slot in on its tail. This twisting corkscrew maneuver not only allows me to slot in on the tail of the Focke-Wulf 190, but as you can see on the top left, it allows me to actually gain energy during the maneuver. So when the Focke-Wulf finally realizes he's in trouble and goes for a dive, at least for a very short period of time, despite being in a slower aircraft, I'm able to maintain speed with the A4. Now at this point, he takes it into the vertical, and this is a terrible mistake, as you can see. Once again, despite being in the more powerful aircraft, his evasive maneuvers had caused him to lose a substantial amount of energy, to the point where his energy state was still lower than mine. Pulling himself into a high angle maneuver just caused him to bleed even more energy, slowing himself down and making him an easier target. Now, it did the same for me. However, I was already at a higher energy state than he was, and while the Boomerang is a less powerful aircraft, it's also a lighter one, meaning that I had the ability to maintain that vertical maneuver for a longer period of time, giving me more time to put my guns on the slow-moving Focke-Wulf. So that's him out of the match, and I'm heading back towards the runway to see exactly how the capping of the runway is going, and we are looking at getting into another fight. I thought I got engaged before. I thought I saw some tracers whiz past, so I went evasive and into some S's before heading this way, and sure enough, we have a BF-109 F4. So we start with a quick split S to disengage. This pulls us below his guns faster than he can get his nose down, and then we roll quickly into a dive to slot in on his tail. Now, unlike the A4 from earlier on, the 109 was completely loaded with energy, so there's no way we can maintain distance on him, but as I said, we have lots of 7.7 ammunition on board. We can afford to spray a little in his direction. Now I did also waste a little bit of cannon there in the off chance that I could get shots on him. In hindsight, if I'd flown this again, I would not have fired the cannons on that one. I would have just sprayed out with the MGs, but there's no point in complaining about it now. So again, I'm heading back towards the runway. With so much rifle caliber ammunition on board, you can usually assist the capture of A without too much of an issue, although it looks like the capture of A is flicking through just nicely. And once again, BF-109 F4 coming in. So once again, into the split S. Now this time the target is too low for me to be able to just dip below his gun. So I start by turning slightly away during the split S, then turning sharply in the opposing direction to throw his guns off before rolling in once again on his 6 and cutting him with the machine guns as he goes past. Again, I tried with cannons there as well, but no luck on the landing. I fire a couple more bursts here and that will be the last of my cannon ammunition. But with 3,500 rounds of 7.7 on board, I'm not really concerned at this point. Now as I'm watching the F4 in the distance, it does look like it's really badly wallowing there, so it's definitely taking some damage and it looks like it's going to go in. And it's at this point, more shots from behind, and I take a hit to the left wing, immediately throw the aircraft into a rolling scissors in order to force an overshoot, and it's another BF-109 F4. Now this F4 is currently on an exit directly towards the runway. This is a big mistake. He's got a load of energy on, so I'm not going to be able to catch him, but I try a speculative burst anyway. A quick shoulder check reveals 2 more 109s to my 6. At this point I have to make a choice, continue on the F4 or start going evasive waiting for these aircraft to come in. I choose to go evasive, and sure enough, BF-109 G2 coming in from the rear. Throw the aircraft into a sharp turn and dip it right down below the water in order to duck underneath, then take the aircraft into the vertical. Keep the combat flap on as we go through the stall, let the aircraft stall itself over and half roll back onto the dive, and once again I am now on the 6 of the BF-109 G2. Long burst of the machine guns, we cut across the plane, we get some good hits. Use the flaps to slot in on its 6. The G2 is in a world of trouble here, it's being targeted heavily, and then boom, a Spitfire drops in and blows it to pieces, and I take the assist. And with the G2 down, the skies in the immediate vicinity are now absolutely clear, so we can begin to head back towards the runway. In fact, at this point, most of the team takes the opportunity to put down and rearm and reload, as at this moment there are 3 aircraft remaining on the enemy team, and all of them are BV-38s. However, this will be the end of the battle for the most part, as from here on, 2 of the BVs wind up crashing, and the third is killed by P-47 before we even get close enough to see it. So that brings us to the end of the match, so let's quickly jump out to the results and then have a discussion about this video. So the results for the match: 3rd place for the team with 1 kill and 1 assist. We come in with Fighter Rescuer, Avenger, and Rank Does Not Matter. 26,890 silver lions. We got 2 bonus awards where, for this particular day, Gaijin was giving out Golden Eagles. 3,034 research points, which would have been 4,551 with a premium account. Mission results also would have been 42,190 silver lions, should I have had that premium account active as well. So in terms of kills and mission rewards, this match was very much below average, but that wasn't the point of this particular video. This particular video just happened to be a very good showcase of me using an aircraft to continuously outmaneuver and evade an enemy target that was in a vastly superior aircraft by using the advantages of my own aircraft in order to continually turn the tables, putting myself continually at the 6 of my attacker after each pass. Now the brilliant part about this is, even though I didn't get to capitalise on most of those passes, the enemy was already at too high a speed moving out. It's worth remembering that every time they attack a low-level aircraft like this, your enemy is blowing energy, putting themselves into a more and more vulnerable state. If your team is switched on, they will see this and they will capitalise on the fact that an enemy is willing to throw away all their energy and all their advantages in order to kill an aircraft that, in the grand scheme of things in this battle, was rather irrelevant. Even those fighters like the G2 that turned onto my tail largely because I just happened to be there. It wasn't a direct decision, I was just in the attack path. Diverting off to try and kill me rather than going for altitude or trying to open a gap, again resulted in a net energy loss, which made the aircraft extremely vulnerable to the vastly more dangerous aircraft surrounding me during this battle. Sometimes playing the bait can be extremely effective if you're in a situation where the team can capitalise on it. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment sections down below. Sorry if I sound a little hoarse today, I think I picked up a bit of a PAX bug while I was down there, and it's affecting my voice a bit. Anyways, ladies and gents, until next time, click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, fly smart, fly safe, and I will catch you in the skies.